Hello and welcome back to Does It Go Hard, the show where I review movies, video games, and more. And today I'm reviewing a really special one, probably the film that people have been the most excited for in the MCU for quite a while. Yes, of course, I'm talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I've also been really excited and looking forward to this one, but also knowing kind of how Marvel's track record has been, to say that I wasn't a bit hesitant is a bit of an understatement. So before going to all the nitty-gritty details about the film, is the film even any good? Well, I'm absolutely happy to report that not only do I think this movie is good, I actually believe it's kind of fucking amazing, honestly. In general, I love the Deadpool movies, and Wolverine is one of my favorite Marvel characters, so it's almost kind of hard for me to hate this movie, but at the same time watching it, there's so many ways where this could have gone the complete wrong way and fumble itself. But boy, does this movie really stick the landing. My ranking of the Deadpool movies has always been that I prefer Deadpool 2 to the first Deadpool, but now with this one, man, it's almost an even battle between this one and Deadpool 2. But I also believe that Deadpool and Wolverine surpasses Deadpool 2 by just a tiny sliver. So small synopsis of the film. It all starts after the events of Deadpool 2, specifically the mid-credit scenes. The Time Variance Authority, also known as the TVA, pulls Deadpool from his quiet life and sets him on a mission to save his universe, colliding with a Wolverine from a new universe in the process. And look, that's just a small synopsis that you can easily find on Google, but let me tell you, knowing that little about this film going in is possibly the best way to go about watching this film, because this film is filled with so many surprises. If you kind of go into more detail in what the story is about by just searching it up on Google or just getting yourself spoiled by somebody else talking about it on the internet, then you are ruining a pretty special experience. Now, I do need to clarify that this video will have no spoilers, so if you're afraid that I'm gonna tell you something that you don't want to know, don't worry about it, I won't spoil anything. In my opinion, Sean Levy did a really good job directing this. In fact, a lot of scenes in this film are kind of brilliantly directed, especially the fight sequences. This film has so many fun and awesome and hype action sequences. I was mind blown watching some of these, especially all the fight scenes that involve the Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh, they are so good. I love it. And of course, to nobody's surprise, the film is incredibly funny. Now, it's not a comedy that's gonna work for everybody, but to me, it absolutely worked. A lot of the self-referential humor and fourth wall breaks and all the meta humor that can get annoying if you don't do it right. I feel like the Deadpool movies have always been smart on how to do it and when to do it. Also, the film has an amazing soundtrack. That's also one of the things that people really like about the Deadpool films, is that they have such fun and vibrant soundtracks that you just kind of want to jam out to, and it's no difference here. In my opinion, it might be the best soundtrack of the trilogy, in my opinion, especially with Madonna's Like a Prayer. I only thought it was gonna be in the trailer, but it's in the movie, and the way that they use it is actually fucking amazing and genius. And while the story can be considered very simplistic and by the numbers, it still has a heart to it. One of the things that I really love about these Deadpool films is that even though they're kinda comedies, there's still an emotional drive to them. Yes, he's very jokey, he's very funny, but there's also a serious side of the character. There are moments where, okay, we need to stop the jokiness, we need to settle down and really focus on the more emotional, more serious side of the character, which is something that I believe the Deadpool movies do very well. But the biggest stars of the film definitely have to be both Deadpool and Wolverine. The chemistry between Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman is amazing, and seeing Hugh Jackman not only back as Wolverine, but seeing him in that glorious yellow and blue suit, oh motherfucker. Just seeing that made me want to come so fucking hard. And of course, this film is filled with a lot of cameos, and again, I won't spoil any of them, but holy shit, there were a few that I did expect, but then there were others that I was like, what? Are you serious? I was legitimately fucking giggling of excitement watching some of these cameos that I just never saw coming. I was like, no fucking way, dude. The film definitely feels like a love letter to a specific era of superhero films, specifically Marvel superhero films of that era. This film does a really good job in bringing in these cameos and actually making them part of the film, making them part of the story. Now, for the few negatives that I do have about the film, they're very small to the point that I wouldn't necessarily consider them negatives. They're more nitpicks than anything else, except for number one, there's one thing that is not a huge detriment to the film, but it's still the weakest part of the film, and that's the villain. I get it that superhero films, especially Marvel films, they're pretty hit or miss with their villains, usually missed. But this villain was just kinda I didn't love her or hate her. She was just kind of in that very awkward middle where I'm just like, okay, but I don't really give a shit. It is one of those films that you can just kind of pick and nitpick every little thing about it, but honestly, I don't give a shit. The film was just a lot of fun. It's funny, it's filled with a lot of heart, the action sequences are fun. Everything about this film just screams fun, and that's what I love about it. Honestly, at first, I had a little bit of trouble deciding what rating I was gonna give this film. But then after really thinking about it, I finally just came to the conclusion that yes, Deadpool and Wolverine indeed goes hard, and holy fucking shit does it go super fucking hard. And I know that right now people are still very hesitant about the MCU where we don't really know where it's going. Believe me, I'm one of those people too. But also, it's just really refreshing to watch a Marvel movie, specifically an MCU Marvel movie, that is not trying to sell you the next movie. This film works as its own thing. It works as a Deadpool 3, it works as its own movie, it works in many different ways that is not trying to constantly remind you that it's part of the MCU or that this is going to lead up to something later in the MCU, which I know it will, but right now, that's not the main focus. Right now, it's just a movie that is a shitload of fun. That's all this film needs to be, in my opinion. But what did you think of Deadpool and Wolverine? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or are you just kind of in the middle? Let me know down in the comments. I really want to know what you guys think about it. Don't forget to follow me on my social media, Instagram and Twitter. And like always, good day, good night, and stay safe.